Commander Thraxel flexed his 4 muscular arms, each one capable of crushing a starship's hull with bare strength. Around the oval conference table sat representatives of the galaxy's most formidable species, the crystalline Vorthak, whose bodies could withstand supernovas, the gaseous Netheri, who could phase through solid matter at will, and the cybernetic Zephyrians, whose computational minds processed faster than quantum computers. At the far end of the table, almost hidden in the shadows, sat the human delegation, 3 unremarkable bipeds in simple grey uniforms, their fragile pink skin exposed to the recycled air of the space station. They had no natural armor, no energy manipulation abilities, no enhanced intelligence augmentations. Yet somehow, these weak creatures had requested membership in the Galactic Council of Apex Species. Preposterous, rumbled Thraxel, his voice causing the metal table to vibrate. Humans possess no extraordinary physical capabilities. Their technology is primitive compared to ours. They cannot even survive in space without artificial life support. The lead Vorthok, a being of living diamond named Shard Prime, resonated agreement. Our scans show their bone density is laughably low. A single blow from any of us would shatter their entire skeletal structure. Admiral Chen, the human representative, simply nodded from her position at the back of the chamber. "You're absolutely correct," she said quietly. Her 2 companions, Dr. Martinez and Captain Singh, remained silent beside her. Overlord Nex of the Zephyrians processed this response in 0.3 seconds and found it puzzling. "Then why do you seek to join us? This council is reserved for species capable of surviving the harshest conflicts in the galaxy." "We understand," Admiral Chen replied, her voice barely audible over the ambient hum of the station's systems. "We're just observers today. We'll sit in the back." The assembled beings exchanged what passed for confused glances among their species. For the next 3 hours, they discussed territorial disputes, resource allocation, and military strategies. The humans remained silent, occasionally taking notes on primitive data tablets. When the meeting concluded, Thraxel approached the human delegation with curiosity rather than hostility. "Your species intrigues me," he admitted. "Why do you always position yourselves in the back? Are you afraid?" Admiral Chen smiled, an expression that Thraxel had learned indicated amusement rather than aggression in humans. "Not afraid, Commander. Just experienced." Before Thraxel could ask what she meant, alarms began blaring throughout the station. The light shifted to emergency red as automated announcements echoed through the corridors. "Unknown vessels detected. Massive fleet approaching. All species prepare for potential combat." The council members rushed to the observation deck, their various forms of locomotion creating a thunderous sound. Through the reinforced viewing portal, they saw them, the Devourers. Hundreds of sleek black ships emerged from hyperspace, their hulls absorbing all light like mobile black holes. Thraxel's confidence evaporated. The Devourers were legend, a species that had consumed entire star systems before vanishing into deep space millennia ago. No one had seen them in living memory. "Impossible," whispered Shard Prime, his crystalline form flickering with fear-induced frequency changes. The historical records said they were extinct. The Devourer fleet arranged itself in perfect formation, weapons charging with energy signatures that made the station's sensors scream warnings. Overlord Nex's cybernetic processes accelerated to maximum capacity, calculating thousands of battle scenarios. In every simulation, the Council species lost within minutes. "We need to evacuate," Nex announced, his electronic voice crackling with static. "Our combined fleets cannot match this force." But Admiral Chen was no longer at the back of the group. She had moved to the front, studying the enemy formation with intense concentration. "Dr. Martinez, what's their estimated arrival time at optimal firing range?" 17 minutes, Admiral, the doctor replied, consulting her tablet. "Captain Sinch, are our ships in position?" "Affirmative. Phoenix Squadron reports ready. All stealth systems active." Thraxel watched in amazement as the humans transformed from passive observers into a coordinated command structure. "Your ships?" "What ships?" "Our sensors detect no human vessels in this system." Admiral Chen turned to address the council, and for the first time, her eyes held the weight of command that had seen 1,000 battles. "Gentlemen, this is why humans sit in the back. We learned long ago that the strongest species always charge forward, eager to prove their might. They announce their presence, display their power, and challenge their enemies directly." She gestured toward the approaching Devourer fleet. "We've been watching the Devourers for 60 years. We know their tactics, their technology, their weaknesses. But we never engage them head-on like you would." Suddenly, space around the Devourer fleet erupted in silent explosions. Ships that had been invisible to every sensor began decloaking, revealing a massive human armada that had been lying in wait. The Devourer vessels, caught completely off guard, found themselves surrounded. "You see," Admiral Chen continued as the battle raged outside, "when you're not the strongest, fastest, or smartest species in the galaxy, you learn to be the most patient. You learn to watch, to wait, and to strike only when victory is certain." The Devourer fleet, for all their legendary power, had expected to face enemies who would meet them in glorious combat. They had no strategy for dealing with an opponent who had studied them for decades while remaining completely hidden. Within 30 minutes, the battle was over. The surviving Devourer ships retreated into hyperspace, their formation broken and their confidence shattered. Thraxel stared at Admiral Chen with newfound respect. "All this time, you weren't hiding in fear. You were hunting. The back row has the best view of everyone else," she replied with that same quiet smile. "And humans have learned that sometimes the most dangerous predator is the one that nobody notices until it's too late." From that day forward, the Galactic Council reserved the back seats for the human delegation, not out of disrespect, but out of a hard-earned understanding that in the vast theater of galactic politics, the audience often held more power than those on stage.